The Hey Eddy Podcast is brought to you by introducing Walk on Water sandals. They're big, they're floaty, they're not working. Okay, wait. Let me try again. Nope, still sinking. Look, we tried really hard. We used foam, we used pool noodles, we even tried strapping floaties on our feet. Turns out only Jesus can walk on water. Walk on water sandals. They don't work, but they remind you who does. Floaty sold separately. Towel definitely required. This is the Hey Eddy Podcast. I'm your host, Cousin Michael. The Hey Eddy Podcast is dedicated to helping kids like my cool cousin Eddie learn about the Bible and learn important lessons about God, about Jesus, and about life. The Bible is indeed God's gift to kids, a lamp to our feet and a light to our path. On today's episode of the Hey Eddy Podcast, we're going to be studying Mark chapter 6, verses 45 through 56, in a lesson titled, Walking on Water. This lesson will teach us that Jesus sees you when you're struggling, and He comes to help, so don't be afraid. Our key memory verse is Mark chapter 6 and verse 50. Take courage, it is I. Don't be afraid. Hey Eddie, okay, have you ever tried to walk on water? Maybe in the bathtub or a swimming pool. You step out and you sink right down, right? Well, today's story is about when Jesus did something that no human being can do. He walked right on top of the water, like it was solid ground. This is one of the wildest stories in the whole Bible. Ready? Let's go. So remember last time? Jesus had just fed 5,000 people with 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish. Everyone was stuffed. 12 baskets of leftovers. Amazing miracle. Well, right after that, Jesus told His disciples to get in a boat and go across the lake. Go ahead, He said. I'll catch up with you later. And then Jesus did something important. He went up on a mountain to pray, all by Himself, just Him and God. Even Jesus needed quiet time to talk to His Father. Pretty cool, right? But here's where things get tough for the disciples. They're out in the middle of the lake. It's dark. The wind is blowing hard right in their faces. And they're rowing and rowing and rowing, but they're not getting anywhere. Have you ever tried to walk into really strong wind? It pushes you back, right? Now imagine trying to row a boat against the wind for hours. The Bible says it was the 4th watch of the night. That means it was somewhere between 3 and 6 in the morning. They'd been fighting that wind almost all night long. Their arms must have been so tired, and they were stuck right in the middle of the lake, in the dark. But guess what? Jesus saw them. Even though it was dark, even though they were way out in the middle of the lake, Jesus could see His friends struggling, and He went to help them. But here's the thing. There was no boat for Jesus. He was on land. They were on the water. So what did Jesus do? He walked right on top of the water. The waves? No problem. The wind didn't slow Him down. Jesus just walked across that lake like it was a sidewalk. Now, imagine you're one of those disciples. It's super early in the morning, it's dark, you're exhausted, you're stuck in the middle of a lake, and then you look up and see a figure walking towards you on the water. What would you think? The disciples were terrified. They screamed. They thought it was a ghost. I mean, can you blame them? Nobody walks on water. Their brains couldn't figure out what they were seeing. But then Jesus spoke, and He said 3 really important things. Take courage. It is I. Don't be afraid. When Jesus said, it is I, that was a huge deal. In the Bible, that's what God says when He shows up. Jesus was showing them, I'm not a ghost. I'm not just a teacher. I'm the one who made the water, and I can walk on it whenever I want. Then Jesus climbed into the boat with them, and the second He got in, the wind stopped. Just like that. No more fighting, no more struggling. Jesus was with them and everything was calm. The disciples were completely amazed. But the Bible says something kind of sad here. It says they didn't understand. Their hearts were hard. See, they had just seen Jesus feed 5,000 people with a kid's lunch. They should have thought, oh, Jesus can do anything. Of course he can walk on water. But they forgot. They were so tired and scared that they forgot how powerful Jesus is. We do that sometimes, don't we, Eddie? We forget what Jesus has already done for us. And then when something bad happens, we get scared, instead of remembering that Jesus is with us and he can handle it. The story doesn't end there, though. When they finally got to shore, people recognized Jesus right away, and they went running to tell everyone. Soon, people were bringing sick friends and family members from everywhere, villages, towns, even farms out in the countryside. They put the sick people in the marketplaces and waited for Jesus to come by. And here's the amazing part. They begged Jesus to let them just touch the edge of his coat. That's all, just the edge. And everyone who touched him was healed. That's how powerful Jesus is, Eddie. The same Jesus who walked on water, who made the wind stop, who fed 5,000 people, he heals everyone who reaches out to him. So what does all of this mean for you? First, Jesus sees you when you're struggling. Even when it's dark, even when you feel stuck, he sees you and he comes to help. Second, don't be afraid. When scary things happen, remember who Jesus is. He's not just a nice guy. He has power over everything. Wind, waves, sickness, you name it. Third, remember what he's already done. The disciples forgot about the bread and fish miracle. Don't forget. When you're scared, think about all the ways Jesus has already helped you. Jesus walks through storms to get to you, Eddie. He's not scared of the dark. He's not bothered by the wind. And when he shows up, everything changes. So next time you're feeling stuck or scared, remember, Jesus sees you and he's on his way. This has been the Hey Eddy Podcast. I'm your host, Cousin Michael. Remember that the Hey Eddy Podcast is dedicated to studying the Bible and learning important lessons about God, about Jesus, and about life. Today we discussed Mark chapter 6, verses 45 through 56. Tune in soon for another episode of the Hey Eddy Podcast, where we'll study Mark chapter 7, verses 1 through 23. Love you, Eddie.